Hello everyone. Welcome to the 23rd episode of the Crypto Bull. Today's episode, we will be doing a technical analysis of the cryptocurrency project called VECHAIN. Now, I have to admit, the project itself, I thought I already had done a technical analysis, but as being pointed out by a few friends on Telegram in the crypto communities I make part of, they mentioned, well, when are you going to do it? We haven't seen it yet. And well, upon further investigation, I didn't. So I was actually quite surprised seeing that one. As per usual, I'm going to explain a little bit the setup where it concerns the crypto bull. We are going to take a look at the various communities. We are going to take a look how well it performs through time. So we are going to, analyze its historical run, see how well it's performing. We are going to take a look at its market cap. We are going to take a look at the various social media to see how its community is thriving. We shall try to do a technical analysis as soon as we find a white paper, if it's available, even a bit of a commentary on the used consensus protocol, etc., etc. So without further ado, let us begin. I'm going to add this to the stream and go to CoinGecko. As pointed out in almost all of my other previous episodes, you can in fact do something up. Yeah, okay, some that I don't make mistakes like other ones. Like I said, there exist other sites. I make use of CoinGecko. In my very first episodes, I made use of CoinMarketCap. Same can be done, but anyway. So VECHAIN ranked by market cap as a number 22, currently a bit in decline, but if I'm not mistaken, the entire market was a bit sketchy at the moment. So what do I see here? Two dedicated websites, VECHAIN.org, VECHAIN.com. I see two explorers here, VECHAIN and VECHAIN stats. This implies to me that it has its very own blockchain. So it isn't built on Binance, Ethereum, Tron, or any other platform. So it will be a coin or a token with its proper blockchain, presumably. Communities, okay, well, it's crypto.com, fair enough. Reddit, Twitter, Telegram, Weibo. Don't really know about this one, what it is. We'll soon find out. Tax token. Okay, so it isn't a coin. It has to do with the Internet of Things, artificial intelligence, and a business platform. Considering previous episodes, when I see business platform, relation to artificial intelligence or business platform, or with token, I'm getting slightly alarmed by reason those seem to be, I'm not going to say cash grabs, but the relation token and business platform implies there isn't a full decentralization going on, and that it's, akin to become a centralized project and akin to, not perform all too well. But let us hope that this one might be an exception. I've heard from people a lot of good stuff about it, so I'm giving it a fair chance here. However, where it concerns the tax, Internet of Things, and artificial intelligence, generally when I see those two things popping up, and I'm going to refer to Polkadot, for example, it actually is a quite interesting take on things. So I'm getting curious about it. Let us see. Perhaps scrolling a little bit. So 24-hour trading volume, 581 million. 5 million market cap at the moment, 24 low, high, okay. Circulating supply, love seeing there's a limited market cap. More on that later. How well is it performing? Last 24 hours. I dare say in the last 12 hours, it's certainly in an uptick, but I dare say it's volatile, but stable at around, between 0.085 and 0.845. Actually, like I said, I'm more interested in long term. And what do I see here? Listed on July 27th of 2018. So as an investor, I dare say this squarely falls into the cryptocurrency projects, which may part of being on my radar by reason, well, it's older than 2 years or 3 years, so it has had some time for development and to show some merit. I see here priced slightly higher, went down a little bit, remained stable, a little ups and downs, and it's really somewhere July 2020. I'm going to say even December last year that it experienced some tremendous growth, but that the average value here was being played at. So yeah, shall see what it will be about. I'm not all too convinced here. Anyway, let's see on a yearly basis. Actually, you can see here, nice upward tick. However, generally when I see something like that, people will say, yeah, it will go to the moon. I extrapolate, and as you can see my cursor moving, that's about bullish value on yearly basis. So quite happy with that. Let's hope it doesn't crash down and that it remains at more or less this level. Half a year, so yeah, bullish. In the last 3 months, some heavy corrections here. It's going down. What? 30-day volume downward, but I dare say on 2-weekly volume it seems to be going stable, going sideways, relatively stable. When it concerns value, not immediately convinced. However, what I do notice and I want to point out, and which isn't as obvious with previous projects, this one's got some nice volatility going on. It might be a very interesting coin where it concerns, or token where it concerns active trading. Good amount of gains can be made here, good amount of profit. By reason I see many ups and downs and quite some volatility, some nice percentages. So it makes it interesting. Anyway, let's continue. Present on a bit Binance, 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 Binance. So going to assume mostly present on Binance and a bit. Let's see what the about is about. Today's 24 trading volume, okay, of 65 billion VET coins, max supply of 86.7 billion. Those are quite a lot of tokens or coins. They mention here coins, but the text implied tokens, so we'll need to find out what that is all about. But there's a limited market cap. It's on the highish side, but it's not in the quadrillions, so it's okay where it concerns quantity. It also implies, due to its limited market cap, and it will also depend on how much is mined every time and how it is being used. Well, limited market cap generally indicates that it will have an increasing value over time. Considering there's 65 billion VET coins already mined and in circulation, it's about 3/4 already done. So yeah, time to prove itself when it concerns value. To buy or sell VECHAIN, Abit is currently the most active. Learn more about VECHAIN in this altcoin buzz video, but I don't see any videos. So we will have to learn and do it the hard way by visiting the website. I opened them up already. VECHAIN, home builders application, okay. Just going to test if the site loads, okay. Relatively fast, isn't bad. See VECHAIN 4 here. Derives its value from activity created by nodes within the ecosystem solving real-world economic problems. Okay. How can I put this in plain English? Well, probably people are using VECHAIN to build their own applications. I might stand corrected within a few minutes' time, whereby a variety of problems they encounter are being solved, probably. But what I like to see here is, well, you get introduced and you immediately got a referral link to the white paper. So I'm going to open it up. That's for later on. Webinar sessions from VECHAIN. So they are about educating the people, it seems, and giving decent information on the get-go. Like seeing that one. Application Hub. I'm going to just look up Application Hub. Developer Center slightly less. I'm going to analyze the white paper. What comes including research person, research topics, academic. I'm going to transaction features. Let's just see, such as a multi-party payment. Are these being built, or does it make part of the VECHAIN? Settlement transaction processed or expired if not being included in the block. So they can control transactions. Okay. 10 gas pay and everyone free. They are using quite a lot of technical terms here, and well, generally, if you've got a solid project, in my view, you should be able, as soon as you enter the website, to, in a very small line, will explain what it is about. It tends to be missing a little bit. The task transaction, what I see here, that's proof of authority. What can I say about that one? It's a variation on proof of stake. The authority, how is it being established? Generally through a staking mechanism or by, well, attaching a certain amount of wallets and having them being recognized as such. So we'll have to look into this, how they establish the proof of authority. Not too much of a fan of this one, as it implies centralization, which stands in stark contrast to, well, everything related to blockchain and decentralization. So it's basically proof of authority is blockchain for central application. Not too much of a fan of it. It isn't really community driven on that account. But you never know. All depends on what it is being used for. To achieve network security and process integrity, that's true, but in a handful of people. In smart contract, hard forks can be avoided in case authority masternodes fail to upgrade. Okay, there's backup by smart contracts. Foundation. See, that's exactly what I meant. It's being operated by Foundation, so there's a company behind it who has total control if needed to be. They say, okay, there's schematically 101 authority masternodes, used from an enterprise, business and technical partner, developers, academic research partners, community contributors. From all of them, masternodes probably are being drawn upon, but it implies that there's some interlinking going on and a controllable amount of, an amount of people being able to be controlled. That isn't all too good when it concerns blockchain. Well, when it concerns decentralized things. You might say I'm a bit of a maximalist when it concerns blockchain and decentralization, but that really, well, it ticks me off a little bit. Less interested by reason of it, but in any way I'm going to plow through. Perhaps there are other things I'm missing out upon and they are actually very great. So governance with transparency and operational efficiency enables continual and rapid innovation, while resulting in consensus and decisions that balance the view of all stakeholders in the ecosystem. Community elected steering committee facilitates decision-making and execution supported by the on-chain governance mechanism. On-chain governance, propose, approve, execute. So basically they say the community chooses its own masternodes derived from the groups here, from enterprise users, business, etc., who do all the verifications, etc. So there's an attempt to decentralization, but still have a certain amount of authority. There exist better methods, I dare say. But who knows, perhaps for the niche they are operating in might actually be very interesting. Economic model. Helps separate the cost of using blockchain from market speculation, equal rates on the blockchain and source utilization. Amount, from address, yeah, that's basically how they put things in perspective. Collective value creation through the development of the ecosystem. Blah, blah, blah. Steering committee. General governance system that matches the identity vision. So I'm going to assume this is the community which has all of the power. So it's a bit like the team members, and I like to verify whom is whom and if they are really associated with it. So I'm taking a shortcut here. Steering committee member. It does this on the site, it seems. Set to 2017, the VECHAIN Foundation, so it's slightly older than 3 years. But as mentioned, that's a good sign. When you can country manager Greater China at the end of the assurance. Yeah, I don't want to sound racist or anything else, but as soon as I see China somewhere, something related to blockchain, my certain alarms stop tingling. But I'm going to remain neutral here as best as I can. Slightly worried this guy doesn't have any mention of VECHAIN. An attorney even. X, co-founder WISSEC, BitOcean. No mention either, which, and considering his credentials, I've got a vague impression this is more corporate orientated, having market control than anything else. Sonny Liu, looks like a fun guy. CEO at VECHAIN, okay. At the very least, this guy has a little bit of, some experience. However, in November 2015, present 5 years. Okay. We'll have to look up its real history, yeah. Because there are a few things which aren't really checking out. Louis Vuitton, isn't that? I'm going to take a quick peek. That's what I thought. The guy's related towards fashion industry. Okay. Assistant Professor of Finance at the Chinese University of Hong Kong. Paul VECHAIN Foundation. Assistant Professor of... So, once again, VECHAIN Foundation, November 2017. Okay. It's mainly China-based. Profile not available. Okay. Partner at VECHAIN Tech. Okay. At the very least, there are a few things adding up, but oh yeah, okay, partner. I was thinking CFO, huh? There seems to have been some movement going on. I dare say, at this point in time, they are checking out a little bit. It's the advisory board. I know that Van can provide immense wisdom and experience in the design, implementation, and vision of VECHAIN. Okay, I love seeing the links being associated here. Pick a few out. Yeah, if I do something, I prefer to do it a little bit trollish. No association, that's a profile. Profile of long hash. Mailing advisor where it concerns cryptocurrency, so he's a little bit like me in that account, but I'm more of an educator. No mention of VECHAIN. Partner PVC. Yeah. Okay. Not immediately what I expected. Okay. I know enough here. But yeah, it's an advisory board, so you never know. But the lack a little bit of association worries me. Well, let's continue. VeChain Foundation, that's the white paper. So, our foundation for next generation of information technology, alongside emerging technologies such as artificial reality, virtual reality, artificial intelligence, Internet of Things, 5G, and much more. Temper-proof characteristic, blockchain as an infrastructural technology, blah, blah, blah. So yeah, they basically say we believe in blockchain in this part. Since technical the module forced to build up the initial infrastructure protocols. So yeah, it's standard. Some marketing talk created in this phase, much less effective in improving business use case and activities. Contributing food safety, that's true. However, to be seen. In full development, do not forget blockchain technology still is in its infant shoes. Yes, Bitcoin has been incepted 2010, 2011, and it's only but a decade old. However, mainstream adoption is, what I dare say, only taking place now. This is still true. That's indeed proof of concept by introducing technical and R&D divisions to better understand technology. This one's changing tremendously. More and more companies are trying to implement blockchain technology. There are few, there are rare, but more and more. Incepted 2015. Okay. Business consensus. Proof of concept would start to positively influence behavior from business executive and decision makers. So what I'm getting at here, I'm going to do a quick read. Governance consensus. Technology maximum societal and economic utility. Okay. Inside the regulatory development of blockchain. See, I don't like reading this part. It's technology, it's software, it's free for all. The second I see something like regulation, alarms go off. It's an attempt to hijack. Recent development by intergovernmental F, blah blah blah. Early stage, it's true. Authority, wait, they have two versions of the consensus protocol. Yeah, you can pause the video and read at your own leisure. I'm going through this quite fast. And to observe the total score, list block on trunk and store the result in middle block. Okay. Smoothly on the consensus it's launched, PRS to its own limitation, that's correct. If it comes to the turn of manipulating system giving. Yep, that's true. The Nakamoto consensus, I dare disagree, only provides probabilistic insurance to the safety of transactions. Therefore, we will be working on next generation product that will address this issue and provide the needed security and stability to support ever-growing on-chain business activities on the VeChain. So blockchain, as the outcome of our work, the new POA will now deliver blocks and transactions. It should have been the case with the 1.0. Significant reduction of platform risk of being temporarily disrupted, which will result in the stability of the blockchain service through centralization and through the committee. That's basically a direct result of it. And that's another. Okay, set committee endorsing mechanism, so centralized. Safety and consumer rights finality, the consensus that cannot be modified, replaced. That's well, a little bit of marketing talk, but that's the way how blocks are being well saved on the network itself. So yeah, basically they're saying there's a central authority guiding it all, mainly not the advisory board, but the committee board and the appointed master nodes from the aforementioned here. these guys. But implies that this one away. No need to read my private messages. So academic research. So from all nodes from these various suppose they form some kind of committee and order 101 authorized master nodes who do the decision making. So in a certain sense, you might say there is some security going on, enables fast transaction and fast building. My main issue would be that it's centralized, and I'm going to assume, well, I'm actually convinced and it's going to be plain fact, the master nodes will be paid in VeChain tokens or coins for the work performed. This implies they can be bought over if the situation arises. Probably bought over by the founders who probably will make part of the authority master nodes. So when it comes to security, I'm not all too convinced. Not that I want to say I'm a maximalist, but each consensus protocol has its weaknesses, has its downsides. And well, with proof of work, generally it's the high amount of work, and generally slower transaction times can be modified by adjusting the amount of blocks being mined per time interval. Can also be limited by implementing, such as Ravencoin did, additional security layers, so as in order to prevent ASIC miners to be introduced. And you have something like proof of stake, which in itself enables fast scalability, faster transactions, and also much shorter transaction times. However, it comes at a cost that proof of stake can become centralized by, nefarious forces. Something like Ethereum, for example, who wants to implement a proof of stake, can say, okay, but we enabled X amount of master nodes or nodes from our own who do all the validation and verification, all related to a very small company, and we can't take over the entire network and say to others, well, go F yourself. That's one of the weaknesses of proof of stake. It isn't as secure as proof of work. And then you have something like proof of authority, whereby you actually make use of approximately the same setup as proof of stake, so it has those disadvantages. But moreover, more focused on, with that I want to mean, you are going to limit the amount of nodes to, some kind of centralized authority within your ecosystem. Second, you have a centralized authority. It implies fraud and manipulation can occur. So that's actually a very weak point I do not like to see all too much. However, what I can deduce from the foundation and for what it is going to be used, I'd say it's actually well chosen. Perhaps it might surprise some of the viewers here why I suddenly changed tune, but the reason is quite simple. If you want to build blockchain-based technology for use in companies, you kind of need that sort of central authority for decent functioning. By reason, if something goes awry, someone needs to bear the responsibility. You need to be able to reach out and fix the issue. If it's community driven, the thing is, when it's community driven, everyone is equally at fault. And it implies at that point that no one will feel inclined to solve it immediately. If you have a centralized authority and something goes awry, you've got faces and you've got people you can point to and say, fix this immediately. And in a certain sense, it, invokes the certain idea, or it invokes, how to put it here, a certain amount of responsibility for, performance. So in itself, I'm not a very big fan of proof of authority consensus protocol. However, where it concerns VeChain, it is actually well chosen, so it makes it more solid. If you guys think I'm making sense here. So To sum it up, myself, I'm against proof of authority. I think proof of authority is centralization, but at the same time, considering its use case, it's actually well chosen and it's the better choice. So, bravo for that. It's actually a positive note here. I'm going to go back here. That's transaction model. So, yeah, that's governance, economic model, overview, design philosophy. Um, Perhaps to reiterate here, before I go any further, because I've been talking about proof of authority and that it's actually well chosen for its use case. From what I could deduce from the white paper and VeChain's vision, as well as indicated here, Net of Things, artificial intelligence, and business platform, VeChain is to be seen as some kind of development platform for businesses, to enable business to build blockchain-based applications, well, for their company, for use within their company, for sales, for I'm losing my words here. Well, not well for use for logistics, etc., etc. So that's the main use case why VeChain is being built. And on that account, I dare say, well, proof of authority is actually well chosen. I'm going to close the white paper and just get deeper into the websites. Is that VeChain World? Pardon me. And this more. Okay, this is the business side. What the hell did I call it? On VeChain World. Ah, those are the applications and utilities already built. Okay. I'm fine now. So yeah, these are the applications and the things already being built on VeChain. Quite considerable. Nicely done here. Congrats, guys. Driven by enterprise adoption. So this actually should have been present when I opened this site. So I've got a preference for this one. So those are the solutions being built upon it. So I might have clicked on the wrong website to do the introduction, but as most of you people know, I jump in with 2 feet on the project and generally without some before knowledge or research done in advance. So this is all also new to me. What you're seeing here on screen is what I'm seeing for the very first time while talking and doing my things. So that's the news, VeChain beyond blockchain. So yeah, what to remember, it is a cryptocurrency project which makes use of proof of authority and is aimed as being a development platform for enterprises and corporations for business use, really. That's all you should know. I'm going to close this website. Those are the questions I still have to answer. So let us see at the communities: Reddit, Twitter, Telegram, Weibo. Curious about that Weibo one. Don't believe I've encountered it. So daily discussion, okay. It implies there's some activity. Event program contribute. VM Vault has completed my perspective on VeChain. So that's an application built on it. Let's ask me anything. 8 hours, 1 hour, 1 hour. That I dare say. Never take derivatives. Can VeChain's QR code be cloned? General answers. General questions. Yeah, there's some decent movement going on. It's mostly serious questions. I'm lacking a little bit in memes here, but it implies, it is business orientated, so I'm not expecting to see Elon Musk tweets popping up here. So, not all too bad. Reddit seems nice, okay for it, so I'm going to open it up. So it's a healthy mix of news and updates, like seeing it. Twitter. I also do double checkups when it concerns Twitter here. Mostly checking out the amount of followers, the amount of likes received. June 30, I dare say that's the one spent 388, 2.7K. It adds up. Sorry, from VECHAIN it seems. There's anniversary 1.1. Okay, so the likes and retweets, etc., are valid. I see some community interaction. It's all COVID certificate. Oh yeah, I retweeted that one on my own profile. Not all too happy about it, but it has mostly something to do with vaccination. Not going to get political here, so forget that I mentioned it. Just no, it's a good move for VECHAIN. Congratulations, guys, for that part. ENFT. Wonder why they say ENFT. Electronic non-fungible token. It's always electronic, but hey, you never know. Some guys just want to sound interesting. So yeah, healthy mix of news, updates, and retweets. Twitter. It's nice. Telegram. Don't to look all too deep what I'm doing here. They also got Rose, admin, Boo, Tron. Yeah, the Telegram chat seems to be quite calm. Close it. Let's check out Telegram. Weibo is some kind of Chinese, Asian social media website. Sorry guys, I'm incapable of reading Chinese, Japanese, Korean, or whatever it is, so I'm going to close it back now. Did we cover everything? Oh, I forgot to mention source code available on GitHub. I don't usually open too much by reason, well, you've got various packages here, but it's always nice to do a quick checkup to see source code and issues, etc., and fixes. If you're a developer, it can be interesting to watch it here. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen and return to the main stream. There we go. So I'm going to wrap up this episode. Where it concerns VECHAIN, well, let's start with historical run, historical value. I must say I'm not entirely impressed. Might be the case because of the niche they have chosen, but well, at the moment they tend to be in a general uptick. So there's some mainstream adoption in general with the crypto market going on, which is turning out favorably for the VECHAIN project. So future-wise, I might see a decent future for these guys ahead. So that makes them worthwhile to invest in. However, where it concerns execution, I learned that this is actually a platform mainly orientated towards businesses to develop blockchain applications inside. So, for example, if you are from Nestle and you want to implement blockchain technology, or if your logistics being ruled through, well, being based on blockchain-based technology, VECHAIN can become one of the partners where you can put up your ICT developers and, well, simply build an application for the logistics of your company. So that's entirely possible. That's their main market. It's a niche, I have to admit that, but a niche which I, quite frankly, know will grow in the future. So within the forthcoming decade, more and more such applications will be built, and more platforms such as VECHAIN will grow as a result. Am I going to invest in it? That's probably one of the questions people will be asking themselves. I'm going to say no. Myself, I'm more of a fan of decentralized applications, the fully decentralized setups. And VECHAIN, and I understand their choice, which is actually a big advantage to them. They make use of a proof of authority protocol. Proof of authority implies that you have a limited amount of masternodes who have all that there is to say on the entire network. It enables faster transactions, it enables faster validations, verifications, etc., etc. But it is and remains a central authority, which means, well, they can be governed by external sources, which means that, for example, in order to maintain your masternode rights, it can be the case that a certain committee member or CEO might say, look, we want to implement these changes. If you want to maintain your profits from being a masternode within the network, we demand you to take that and that step. So it isn't fully decentralized and isn't fully community driven. That's a negative point in my point of view. However, it is actually needed where it concerns corporate entities. By reason in corporate and in businesses, things can go wrong and things need to be able to change and adapt. And at that point, and despite many within the blockchain community and crypto community saying, yeah, decentralize, 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 such as myself, I repeat it all too often, but I too understand at a certain point of time, you will be needing a central authority where it concerns business and, well, governance in certain aspects of our lives. In enterprises, in businesses, you need central authority. By reason, if it was entirely community driven and something goes wrong, there's no person who can take responsibility and fix the issues. So in a sense, is VeChain actually very strong by having chosen for proof of authority? It is one of those rare cases where I dare say, look, the consensus protocol, I'm not a fan of it at all. However, because of the use case or for what VeChain is going to be used, proof of authority is the best fit, is the wisest and strongest choice to be made, which actually guarantees a successful project. So to conclude, as I say, it is a valid project. It is investment worthy. However, and this is going to be a little bit the case like with Chainlink, it has tremendous future potential, but it will take a much longer time in order to gain more traction, to gain more value. Myself, I already mentioned I'm not going to invest in it or be associated with it. This Crypto Bull episode stands on its own. I congratulate the guys. It's a very solid project. It isn't a pump and dump scheme. It isn't a scam. They are valid. They are good. There are a few things I take issue with, but that's mostly my own opinion. So not some financial advice or things how they should do it. However, they're valid, they're strong, and I see a bright future for these guys ahead. But like I said, I'm not going to invest in it by reason, well, it isn't really within my line of interest when it concerns blockchain and cryptocurrency. I myself am more inclined to invest in things like Chainlink, which helps, well, developing the blockchain community by, well, handing out oracles and smart contracts, so it's smart contract based. Polkadot, by reason a more decentralized internet, because, well, it has to do with, once again, the entire internet community being safe and secure, being censorship resistant. And that's one of the reasons why I invested in Polkadot. Ravencoin, well, by reason they are like Bitcoin, and Bitcoin I invested in. So they are like Bitcoin, but are more asset based. So have more to do with the transactioning of goods themselves and not necessarily taking value from the coin itself. And I see wide application of that idea also future-wise. So that's the reason why I also invested in Ravencoin. And then naturally you have things like Banano and Nano, which is actually very fast money and have their very own merits. So those I see as a valid alternative to currency, whereas I'm starting to see Bitcoin more and more, well, still as currency, but moreover as an investment asset, a little bit like gold, really. So yeah, that's my take on it. So yeah, I'm going to conclude this episode. Thank you all for watching. For next episodes, you can always leave a comment which coin I will do next, but be sure to check out the entire list with episodes I've already done, so we don't do double bucking here. Um, can be any coin you want me to analyze, otherwise it's simply pick and choose from my part. What else? Well, if there are a variety of remarks and rectifications I need to do that from things that I missed out on, please reach out to me. I've done the same for the previous project with Elrond, where I made a few assumptions but did a rectification in the comments below the video. So if there's something I've missed here, feel free to reach out, etc. No hassle, everyone can make mistakes, but I want to remain as objective as possible when I'm doing these kind of episodes. So yeah, thank you guys once again for having watched. Hope you guys learned a few new things, and that perhaps I indirectly gave you guys an investment tip, despite me being slightly more critical, negative about it. So yeah, thank you guys for watching once again, and up until next.